gentlemen, to the Video Game Cemetery, the home to all things retro video games. And today, we're going to be looking at this game, Bubble Bobble Part 2 on the NES. Okay, so let me start by saying that Bubble Bobble Part 2 is a very confusing title. This title has been used for 4 different games. The NES version, which is what we'll be reviewing here today, a Game Boy version, which is still my favourite one of all time, and also titled Bubble Bobble Jr. in other regions, Bubble Bobble Symphony, and also Rainbow Islands 2, which is considered the true official sequel. I'm not sure why there are so many alternate versions, but let me say from the get-go that every single one of these is drastically different from the other. They are in fact completely different games. I will cover all of these eventually, but for now, let's talk about the one at hand, the NES version. This game has become quite rare. You'll have to pay quite a bit to grab a box copy, and even a single cartridge is pretty bloody expensive, but that just makes me love it all the more. This is a forgotten, lost treasure. Okay, so let's bung it in the Retron, and away we go. The story of this game shows Bob and his girlfriend just chilling out under a tree, when suddenly, these no good little bastards ambush them and capture Bub's girlfriend, dragging her off kicking and screaming, while this other bastard places Bub under his all too familiar curse, transforming him into a dragon. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't a certain someone try doing this exact thing before in a previous game? I remember they did, and I remember that it worked wonders and nothing went wrong whatsoever. Oh wait, yes it did! Why the hell would you turn Bub into the very dragon that gives him super bubble abilities that once led to the previous villain's downfall? He's not going to just let you take his girlfriend. You've given him the abilities needed to stop you with your stupid fucking curse. Why did you make the same mistake as the last guy? Anyway, they do, and Bub's girlfriend is captured. So now, as a bubble dragon, he embarks on a quest to save her. As it will turn out, she had been captured by the Skull Brothers, a group of Grim Reaper looking bosses, or as Sawbones in a robe. Quite different to the Game Boy version in which you were faced with a giant one of these motherfuckers, known as Great Skull. But that's for another video. I think the biggest mystery here is that Bob isn't mentioned whatsoever in the intro to this game. So where the hell is he? Now let's deal with the elephant in the room here for a moment. Bub's put on weight. Like a lot. He's bigger than most standard monsters in this game. What the fuck happened to him? The first thing you'll notice in this game, apart from Bub's weight gain, is how beautiful everything looks. You're presented with a bright fairy tale world filled with magical monsters and wizards, and everything feels like being a toddler again. I know that's a strange way to explain it, but I really can't put it any better. Being an NES game, this is of course 8-bit, which means there is a limited colour palette. But the game works well with what it's got pretty well, I think. After the first 10 levels, for example, and after you've beaten the first boss, the palette changes, allowing for a different look on the newer levels. This causes certain sprites to become coloured rather weirdly, but it doesn't really distract from the game. In truth, the visuals are handled very well indeed. Many of the monster sprites, for example Beluga, are the same ones, albeit in colour, as the ones used in the Game Boy version of Bubble Bobble Part 2. I think this might be why Bub looks so big, because his sprite is unique to this game, not a handheld alternative. The gameplay is smooth as well. Jumping about, shooting bubbles, popping enemies, this all feels very good and flows very nicely. However, shoot too many bubbles on the screen at once or allow too many enemies, and you'll notice some considerable slowdown and lag. This doesn't break the game, and it returns to normal as soon as the bubbles or enemies are popped or removed, but it can throw you off a little. I played this game on the Retron HD when preparing for this video, and I think it ran great overall. And personally, I think the gameplay is excellent. Not perfect, but excellent. Speaking of not perfect, I have to bring some attention to some serious fucking bullshit this game offers too. Some levels are designed, I swear, to piss you right the fuck off. This motherfucking helicopter monster is hard to reach, and therefore hard to hit. And he spawns an endless amount of other monsters which result in the lag I was talking about, and also results in getting effed in the A far too many times for my liking. You actually have to hold down shoot to float up to its height and hit it as it appears before it flies into you and fucking kills you, and that is bullshit with all the crap going on screen at once. Also, You can only float up at this exact spot. Fuck this shit. The same can be said for this tosser and his missiles. He walks back and forth firing rockets at you which are nearly impossible to avoid, while these invader fuckers are fucking up your shit too, and the only time you can attempt to get up there and kill him is when he waits to be wound up again. Also, you can only get up there from this exact spot. Fuck this shit. And I can't even tell you how frustrated I got with the 5th boss. This fucking bird bastard had me in tears of frustration. After spending over an hour trying to kill this prick, I finally got him into stage 2, in which he becomes a bald bird bastard. And then he killed me. Again, and again, and a fucking again, until I was in tears, on the floor, in a heap, crying like a bitch. And then I came back and fucked him up. Take that, you bollocking bird bastard ball bag bitch! Ha! And then I was greeted with another level with that fucking wind-up rocket tosser. Fuck. This game is not good for my ulcer. Okay, now I know I might sound like I'm hating on this game here, but honestly, I'm not. I love the hell out of this game, despite the stress it can give you at certain points. There are, after all, some very relaxed parts of the game. Even bosses. I mean, look at boss 1. He's so easy I almost feel sorry for him. Oh, look, he was a tiny Zentian. How cute. Pop, you're dead! I'm a dick. This game is hardly ever spoken of when it comes to the Bubble games, which is a shame. But it will always have a home here on the shelves of the video game cemetery. So yeah, Bubble 2 is excellent and very underrated and kind of a lost treasure. And I think everyone should play it, so go do that. Not that you want to listen to me, of course. Look at me, standing here like a fucking twat. In my Bubble shirt. Talking about a game over 30 years old. Fuck am I doing with my life?